Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm going to be doing a reaction video to a Somali sister who left the religion of Islam and seeing what she basically says. It should be an interesting watch. It's a 59-minute video. I'm not going to watch the entirety of the video. It's very long. I'm going to watch like 10 minutes of it, inshallah.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you guys are new here, hello and welcome. I am so excited to have you guys here today. I have a very special guest with me, my sister in Christ, Mariam. I'm so happy to have you here. You guys, I'm so happy to have her here today. She is going to be sharing her testimony with us. You guys know how I love a good testimony. I love hearing what the Lord is doing in people's life, especially people in the Muslim community. And I'm just so excited for you guys to hear the story today. Mariam, are you excited to be here?
I'm very excited to be here.
Welcome to the channel. We love a good testimony.
Yes, we
Everybody
do.
here, literally all 20,000 of us, we love a good testimony. We love
Yes,
to hear what
yes.
people say about how their life was transformed. And I'm so
Mhm.
excited to hear your story today. And I'm not even hyping it up, guys. I'm for real, for real. This is like one of the best testimonies I've ever heard.
Jesus did that.
Jesus did it all, and he did man,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
glory to God. He did so good.
Yes.
I don't even know where to start because you've been here with me for 2 weeks, so we have just been getting to know each other. And I'm sad that you're leaving me.
I know.
You're literally leaving me. It's
Cries.
so sad. I know.
It is really sad.
It is really sad, but we are gonna look back at this video in like a year, even 6 months from now,
gosh.
and
We're gonna
like
be
I have
completely
no idea
different
what the
people.
Lord has in store for this.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. So let's get started. Let's start from the very beginning. So you grew up in a Muslim household. Tell us how you found the good Lord.
Oh, well, it's a long story.
It is a long story. We're gonna try to do this in an hour, so
Yes.
hopefully we
you
do.
stay till the end.
I know.
But so, you know, we have a similar story. Grew up in Kenya first few years of my life. My family came to America. We were Muslim.
Yep.
I'm no longer Muslim. That's why I'm here.
Yep.
We came to America 2005.
She no longer submits to the will of the Creator. Great to hear.
I grew up pretty much most of my life in America, so growing up as a Muslim in America was like really hard.
Yeah.
Battling my identity
Yeah.
every single day. And it didn't help that, there's not really a good reputation in America for Muslims.
Yeah.
And so, I was always like conflicted in how I
Wait.
felt about.
So why is that a reason why Islam is false? So is she using the fact that Islam's got a bad rep in America for a delil against why Islam is false? Because that is stupid. If she is.
I was always like conflicted in how I felt about my faith, which really was my parents' faith, and culturally it was the faith of our people as Somalis. And so I just grew up Muslim, doing the 5 daily prayers, going to Duksi, which is Saturday Sunday school.
Duksi, I'm assuming that is a Somali word for madrasa or maktub. Yeah.
School you go and read the Quran and
memorize.
come together with the community kids, and you memorize and you learn about hadiths and Muslim topics.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Muslim topics. I think she means Islamic topics.
So did that growing up. I really wasn't critically thinking about any of it. I was just kind of like, oh, I'm Muslim. My parents are Muslim. Okay, like
this is what we do.
Okay, so she's saying that she didn't critically think about Islam and religion. So I'm assuming she's going to bring forth some evidences for why Islam is false. Then let's find out.
This is what we do, And I'm not gonna sit here and say that like I was miserable all the time. No, like the less I thought about what I was forced to believe in, the less miserable I was. And it wasn't until my late teens, like 18, 19.
Well. So she's mentioned about being forced. Now, if she did critically think about the religion or looked into the religion in any way, shape, or form, she would know that coercion or forcing anybody into the religion is completely haram. It mentions in the Quran, "La ikraha fi din." There's no compulsion in religion. The battle has been made clear from the truth, and it's up to you whether you follow that or not. Half a D, no compulsion in religion. So, already a massive blunder.
19, when I started to seek out the truth for myself, that I realized the reality of everything that,
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty much forced to believe my whole life.
As I say, forcing somebody into religion is completely haram in the religion of Islam. Remember, half a din.
And it's not to say that someone had a knife to my neck, but
Yeah.
it felt as if it was forced, because growing up it was like, well, if you ever step out, it's like you're pretty much disowned. Like, nobody
Yeah. 100%.
claims you anymore. It's like, oh, you're not Somali anymore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be.
Now, I've heard about this before. The Somali government basically say if you decide to leave the religion of Islam, then you also revoke the fact that you're Somali. You no longer are Somali. That has nothing to do with the religion whatsoever. That is a cultural practice which has nothing to do with deen whatsoever. So we would say from an Islamic perspective that if you were to leave Islam, it doesn't mean you are not Somali no more from a religious perspective. You're talking purely from a cultural perspective and the nation's law, which I don't necessarily agree with.
Be not Muslim and Somali,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think that's very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Not to use that overused word,
Yeah.
but I think that a lot of young Somali kids are struggling with their identity, and it's because they are being like rejected
Yeah.
for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was always, you can't be this and that, you need to pick one, or
Mm-hmm.
you need to be this, and if you're that, then you're no good.
Yeah.
And even if you were what they wanted you to be, it was like you were never good enough.
No.
And so I struggled a lot with wanting to fit in, and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to feel like I was accepted for being this like perfect Muslim woman. And
Yeah.
it was
Well, okay, my days, alright. Okay, so nobody is expecting any fallible human being to be a perfect Muslim. The Quran mentions that if Allah Ta'ala was to create a being on the planet Earth perfect, He would wipe them off the face of the earth so He could create beings which are imperfect so they can make tawbah to Allah Ta'ala. So nobody is expecting us to be perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect Muslim. The only perfect Muslims, or the closest to perfect Muslims, are the Prophets, including, by the way, Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus Christ.
it was really tough.
And it's really sad because when you say you wanted to fit
Yeah.
in, um, you know, I felt that same way, but it wasn't even like I'm trying to fit in with kids at school. It's like I'm trying to fit in my own family.
Yeah.
Like I felt like an outcast in my own family. I felt like I was trying to win my God's approval and my parents' approval.
Yes.
Um,
To be this perfect
yeah,
Muslim kid who,
yeah,
you know, does their 5 prayers on time. And mind you, we're children. Like,
yeah,
you're like 9 years old. You're not going to remember to pray at 12 and then
yeah.
go pray at like 4 p.m. and then pray before you go to bed. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not even quick like a prayer like,
Okay, so this is where she's completely wrong. If you're a child, nobody is expecting a child to be able to fulfill the 5 daily prayers. It's only when you get to an age of understanding that it's expected. But even then, if you was to not pray your 5 daily prayers, you can make tawbah, you can start again. Allah Ta'ala is the most merciful. This is so far no evidence to falsify Islam. All she said so far is about the five
like
daily prayers.
a prayer like, oh God, thank you for, the
Mm-mm.
day. And
It's like a
like, yeah, it's
full-on
not a
ritual.
conversation with God. It's,
It's
you
just a
gotta go do
ritual.
the wudu, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
go wash your hands and your face and all of that. If you're not familiar with Islamic prayer,
Yeah.
it takes a lot to, like, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but it is
It
more.
yeah, it's definitely
It's
like a ritual,
it
and
is
you're
a, yeah,
preparing for that ritual
exactly. And like, you
essentially.
have
You
to
know.
go and face
Yeah.
the Kaaba, and you
Mm-hmm. You have
gotta.
to find which.
So all you're telling me so far is the fact that you don't want to pray and you don't want to do wudu. that falsifies Islam, does it? You're saying that because you have to pray 5 times a day and you have to face the Kaaba and do wudu, that means Islam is false? All you're doing now is telling me that you can't be bothered to worship the Creator the way He tells us to worship Him. You just want to follow your own desires.
You
You
gotta
have to find which direction that
yes,
is, and you have to make
exactly.
sure you have the
Yeah,
salah.
yes, the
It's
sali and
a whole thing. It's like a
yes,
whole
and
thing.
like you
Yeah,
have to
by the way, Christians back in the day would have had to have done the exact same thing. Would have had to have faced towards Jerusalem. Same with the Jews. Jews face towards Jerusalem when they pray. It's only the Christians that don't. So it's the Christians that are the odd ones out. The Muslims back in the day used to have to face towards Jerusalem ourselves, and then Allah Ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah mentions that the new Qibla direction for prayer is Kaaba, and the only reason we face in a particular direction for prayer is for the unity of the Ummah. So we're all praying towards the same place for unity. So, for example, if you are in a place, no compass, no smartphone, or anything like that, you've got no way of knowing where the Kaaba is. You're in a desert or something, for example, and you need to pray and you pray the wrong direction, you don't get sin for it. The prayer is still accepted as long as you tried.
like you have to pray in Arabic, which growing up just never made any sense to me because I'm not Arab. My
Yeah.
family's not Arab. We don't speak Arabic.
No.
Okay, so there's a logical fallacy there. So all because you're not Arab, therefore it makes Islam false because you've got to read your prayers in Arabic. Imagine this for a second. Imagine you had a partner and your partner didn't speak the language that you spoke. So, for example, you speak Somali language, I'm assuming. Let's say you only spoke Somali language, and then you got into a relationship with somebody that doesn't speak the same language as you. Imagine translating the love between you. It's not going to have the same effect, is it? So Allah Ta'ala used the Arabic language as the revelation choice. Why? Allahu Alam. We could say as a clean line of transmission to the start of the of humans. But Allahu Alam, Allah Ta'ala does what He wills, and we have the original Quran. You can make dua in English, by the way. So you can make dua in any language, Somali language, any language. It's just the 5 daily prayers. You read 5 times a day, and you pray to the Creator the way He wants you to.
The
don't
Quran
understand
is
it.
in Arabic, and you have to pray to God in Arabic.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, God understands you and you can make dua in your language or whatever, but it's like, why do you have to go and face
The
Mecca
Kaaba.
and the
Yeah.
Kaaba and, prepare to go stand and speak in Arabic and you have to say
Why does that falsify Islam though? Or because we've got a face towards Mecca and the Kaaba, why does that falsify the religion of Islam? The only thing you're showing me right now is just emotional reasons for not wanting to, just because you can't be bothered to face the Kaaba. That's what it sounds like to me.
this, and that. And,
I already answered the question. The reason we face the Kaaba is for unity sin.
I did it growing up and, like, I didn't really think too much of it, but eventually when I started to really think and, they say, like, once you reach a certain age, it's like all your good and bad deeds are written down. And
Yeah.
if you miss a prayer, it's like you might as well, like, go to HELL.
I know. It's like
But-
hell is like constantly
Yeah.
like held over your head.
Yes.
It's not the case whatsoever. If you was to miss your prayer to make Tawbah and don't miss again, then you won't. If you were to miss your prayer all the time, but at the end you made Tawbah, then inshallah, Allah Ta'ala literally said, I don't know if it's a hadith or a wire from the Prophet Sallallahu or an ayah of the Quran. Someone can correct me on this, but you don't get into heaven through your works. You're getting through the grace of Allah. We do the praying's not for God. The praying 5 times a day is not for Allah. He doesn't need our prayers. It's for you.
Exactly.
It's like
and you live in
literally
a state of fear
fear
24/7.
24/7.
And
Like,
it's like it was so like it just tormented me a lot.
and it is.
And I just never felt like I was good enough for God and
Yeah.
I wasn't good
I
enough for
wasn't.
Allah,
No.
And it was very hard just like feeling like I didn't have a connection with God and I always yearned for that.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, even when I wasn't fully aware of, God.
Yeah.
Like
So if you're not fully aware, you do not get the sin.
I yearned for that because
Yeah,
I wanted to
same.
feel like there's a bigger purpose for me
Same.
on this earth. I don't
Mhm.
want to feel like I'm just working day in, day out. Not as a kid, but like,
Yeah,
like spiritually, yeah, you're
spiritually.
working day in, day out
Yeah.
to try and earn heaven. And
Yeah.
Trust me, when you put your head on the ground and you say Subhana Rabbil Allah, Subhana Rabbil Allah, Subhana Rabbil Allah, you're saying praise be to Allah the Most High. You're putting the highest part of your head and you humble it to the lowest part of the ground, and you're saying Subhana Rabbil Allah, praise be to Allah the Most High. There's nothing more spiritually satisfying than that.
it's like you're just never good enough. And
No.
I knew deep down, I was like, this isn't right. Your God should not want you to, work
Yeah.
tirelessly to then die and not know where you're going.
Yeah. And that's no, I totally agree. And I think that that's something that I also felt like. I was like, from a very young age, like I didn't really know why I felt that way, but I knew like I had this longing and this, like, my soul longed for God. Like,
Yes.
I was like, there was something, it almost is like, I don't know how to describe it, but there was like, I know that there was something more, and I didn't know what that more was, but I knew the life that I was living and the way that people were acting around me was off.
Yes.
Like, from a very young age, I'm like, why are my parents like this?
Yeah.
Like why are they always angry? Like, why are we always fighting? Why are we always yelling at each other? Why are we always...
because okay, so arguing in the family. So you what you described there is just every family in the world. No family is perfect. No family is gonna not argue. Even Christians that are staunch Christians argue in the family as well. Why does that make Islam false? I'm yet to hear anything which falsifies Islam. I've not heard an ayah of the Quran. I've not heard a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I've not heard, if I have heard a hadith, I've not heard the understanding of the scholars. I've not heard anything so far. All I'm hearing is emotional reasons and cultural reasons, and this is not an evidence for the truthfulness or the falseness, if you like, of Islam. This is just your emotion.
Why we always like? Why is it such a chaos? Like, it's like constant chaos. Like, there was no peace.
Right.
Like, no peace. Like, no peace.
Yeah,
and
well, I definitely don't believe that. You're telling me that all your life there was never any peace? Yeah, do not believe you.
I just couldn't understand.
I think
why.
I think everybody just had an internal battle going on, because it's like pretty much each man for themselves. It's like your parents, even when you're really young, they teach you like how to pray and all of that, and then it's up to you to do it. But they say, oh, the younger you are and the earlier you follow Allah, like the deeds go to your parents, and it's very
whoa. Where is the hadith that says that? What it does say is that when your parents pass away and to raise righteous children, there's a sadaqah jariyah, raising children that will make dua for the parents when they pass away, Haythul Barzaki and the Akhirah. Nothing about, if you worship Allah earlier, that you the parents get more reward. Provide the hujjah for that, provide the proof for that. There's you don't know what you're talking about, unfortunately. I think that'll do me, to be fair, because this, like I was going to say, it's an hour-long video, and may Allah Ta'ala guide the scissors back to the haqq. I don't know why they decided to go to a religion like Christianity, which is well known. They don't have the original Bible. They don't actually know what Jesus alayhi salam said. This is all mental. SubhanAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.